buried deep under our feet in rock layers from 65 million years ago, scientists found something that shouldn't be there. Tiny spheres of rare metals spread all over the world in a pattern that looks exactly like what we get from modern nuclear tests. But these spheres existed long before humans ever walked the Earth. We've always thought we were the first to split atoms, to work with metal, to burn fossil fuels, and change our planet's air. But what if we got it wrong? What if Earth had advanced societies before us, and millions of years just wiped away every sign they existed? Today, we're looking at evidence that questions everything we thought we knew about our planet's past. We'll dig into disappeared nuclear signs, look at strange mass extinctions, and ask why the fossil record has so many huge gaps we can't explain. Get ready. Let's start. Back in 1980, a geologist named Walter Alvarez was looking at rock layers in Italy when he found something amazing. A thin strip of clay between the Cretaceous and Paleogene periods had levels of iridium that were 30 times higher than normal. This rare metal shows up a lot in asteroids, but almost never in Earth's crust. The find completely changed how we understand mass extinctions. That iridium spike proved an asteroid hit Earth and killed the dinosaurs 65 million years ago. But what really caught scientists' attention was how clearly this one terrible event left its mark in the rocks. This discovery brought up a scary question. If one asteroid crash could leave such clear traces after 65 million years, what marks would an advanced technological society leave behind? And even more important, would we be able to spot them? The Silurian hypothesis came from this idea. Named after an old species from Doctor Who, this scientific theory wonders if industrial civilizations could have lived on Earth long before humans, leaving behind clues so small or so changed by time that we just haven't noticed them yet. Think about the scale of deep time. If human industrial life lasted 10,000 years and then disappeared, that would be just 2/10,000ths of 1% of Earth's 4.5 billion year history. Finding proof of such a short time would be like looking for one page in a library with 4 million books. But proof should be there. Every industrial society has to use energy, change the air's chemistry, and make waste that lasts way longer than buildings or machines. These signs become part of Earth's permanent rock record, saved in rock layers, ice cores, and dirt deposits. The hard part is recognizing these signs. We know what modern industry looks like because we're doing it right now. We pump carbon dioxide into the air, spread plastic bits everywhere, and make radioactive materials that will stick around for thousands of years. Future geologists would have no trouble seeing our impact on the planet. But what if earlier societies used different tech? What if they got energy from sources we haven't found yet or made materials that break down differently than our plastics and concrete. Their industrial marks might be right in front of us, mistaken for natural things. The iridium layer shows that Earth keeps evidence of big events across huge stretches of time. If the planet can hold a record of one day when an asteroid hit, it should also keep traces of civilizations that might have lived for thousands of years. Scientists started looking at the rock record with fresh eyes, hunting for patterns that might point to ancient industrial activity. What they found challenges everything we believe about life on Earth. The proof starts with a mystery buried in Earth's fossil record. Earth's fossil record should tell us the whole story of life on our planet. Instead, it reads like a book, with most pages torn out, leaving behind pieces that hint at chapters we can't read. Scientists who study old life call these missing parts gaps, but that word doesn't really capture how massive they are. The Cambrian explosion 540 million years ago shows complex life appearing suddenly in the fossils, like someone flipped a switch. Before this, we mostly find simple single-celled creatures. After it, the oceans are full of animals with eyes, shells, and complicated body plans. This change should have taken millions of years of slow evolution. Instead, it seems to have happened almost instantly in geological terms. The fossil record gives us no reason for this huge leap forward, but the Cambrian explosion is just one of several mysterious gaps. The fossil record has multiple times when life seems to jump forward in sudden ways we can't explain. Species show up, do well, then disappear without clear causes. New types of life pop up fully formed, like they came from nowhere. The usual explanations point to how things get preserved. Soft-bodied creatures rarely turn into fossils, so we might be missing important in-between steps. The environment affects how things fossilize, creating what look like gaps where slow change actually happened. These things definitely play a part in the incomplete record. However, some gaps seem too organized, too perfectly timed to be random preservation problems. They match up with big changes in the air's makeup, ocean chemistry, and worldwide climate that suggest something more than normal evolution was going on. Think about the great oxygenation event 2 billion years ago. Oxygen levels in Earth's air suddenly shot up, killing most life that existed while letting new types of living things evolve. This change completely altered the planet's chemistry and biology. Scientists say this happened because cyanobacteria started making oxygen through photosynthesis. But the timing and size of the change seem weirdly exact for a natural process. The oxygen increase follows a pattern that looks like what might happen if an advanced society started massively changing the air's chemistry on purpose. Similar patterns show up all through the fossil record, times of things, staying the same interrupted by sudden huge changes that reshape life on Earth. Mass extinctions followed by quick growth of new species. Chemical signs in rocks that suggest massive coordinated changes to the whole planet's systems. These patterns could come from natural processes we don't fully get yet. Earth's climate and chemistry work through complex loops that might cause sudden switches under certain conditions. But they could also mean something completely different. What if some of these gaps show times when earlier civilizations ran the planet? Their industrial work might have changed environments so badly that most existing species died off, making what look like gaps in the fossil record. The fast appearance of new life might be either evolution responding to changed conditions or proof of genetic work by advanced beings. The rock layers themselves have even stranger evidence. Every factory, every power plant, every piece of heavy equipment leaves chemical fingerprints that stick around long after the structures themselves turn to dust. These signatures get mixed into Earth's rock record, making permanent proof of industrial activity that can survive for millions of years. Modern industry makes unique isotope ratios that look totally different from natural processes. When we burn fossil fuels, we release carbon that's been locked underground for millions of years. This old carbon has a specific signature that shows up clearly in air measurements and gets saved in tree rings, ice cores, and ocean dirt. Nuclear weapons testing made radioactive isotopes that don't appear anywhere in nature. These man-made elements will stay detectable in rock samples for thousands of years, giving future scientists undeniable proof that an advanced tech society existed on Earth during the 20th and 21st centuries. But here's where the mystery gets deeper. Geologists have found similar weird isotope signatures in rock layers that come from millions of years before humans. The Permian-Triassic boundary, marking the Great Dying 252 million years ago, has carbon isotope ratios that match exactly what we see from massive fossil fuel burning. The size of this signature suggests an event that released carbon equal to burning all known coal, oil, and natural gas on Earth in a pretty short geological time. Traditional explanations talk about massive volcanic eruptions or methane releases from warming oceans, but the carbon signatures are too precise and too similar to industrial combustion patterns to dismiss easily. Ice cores from Antarctica hold air samples going back 800,000 years. In these samples, scientists found periods of fast air change that look like what we'd expect from big industrial activity. Levels of greenhouse gases spike suddenly, stay high for thousands of years, then go back to normal. These patterns show up multiple times throughout the ice core record, always after subtle changes in air chemistry that suggest coordinated manipulation of the whole planet's systems. The changes are too fast and too organized to come from known natural processes. Rock formations in Colorado have tiny spheres of titanium and other rare metals arranged in layers that match specific time periods. These spheres are identical to particles made by high-temperature industrial processes, yet they show up in rock layers that formed long before humans developed metalworking. Similar metal oddities have been found in dirt cores from deep ocean floors. The metals are spread in patterns that suggest widespread release into the air, as if they came from many industrial sources working at the same time across different continents. Ocean dirt cores show more evidence of ancient industrial activity. Layers of dirt have concentrations of synthetic compounds that shouldn't exist in nature, yet they show up in rock contexts that come from way before human chemistry. These chemical signs could have natural explanations we haven't found yet. Earth's rock processes are incredibly complex, and we might be misreading evidence of unusual but natural things. However, the patterns are becoming too many and too organized to ignore. The evidence goes beyond chemistry into materials that shouldn't exist at all. Plastic will be humanity's longest lasting legacy. Long after our cities fall apart and our bones turn to dust, tiny plastic particles will stay stuck in dirt layers, giving future geologists unmistakable proof that an industrial civilization once ran this planet. Plastic breaks down super slowly in natural places, even when exposed to sunlight, heat, and chemical weathering. Plastic pieces stick around for hundreds or thousands of years. In deep ocean dirt or frozen places, plastic could stay basically unchanged for millions of years. This toughness makes plastic a perfect rock marker. Future scientists looking at Earth's dirt layers will find a sharp change where plastic particles suddenly appear in huge amounts, marking the start of what geologists might call the Anthropocene epoch, the age when humans began reshaping the planet through industry. But recent finds suggest we might not be the first civilization to leave such markers behind. Dirt cores from remote ocean floors have tiny particles of what looks like synthetic polymer compounds in layers that formed millions of years before humans invented plastic. These particles show the same features as modern plastic fragments, including resistance to natural breakdown and chemical makeups that don't happen in nature. The particles show up in separate layers millions of years apart, suggesting multiple times when widespread synthetic material production happened and then completely stopped. The way they're spread shows worldwide dispersal, as if these materials were being made and used by a planet-wide civilization. Deeper analysis shows even more puzzling details. Some of these ancient polymer fragments have molecular structures that look like improvements over modern plastic tech. They show signs of engineering designed to make them more durable and resistant to environmental breakdown, suggesting their makers had sophisticated understanding of material science. Deep drilling projects in Antarctica have pulled up ice samples with similar synthetic particles in layers that formed hundreds of thousands of years ago. The particles are perfectly saved in the ice, keeping their original molecular structure and giving clear proof of their artificial origin. These discoveries challenge everything we thought we knew about materials science and planetary history. Either natural processes can somehow make perfect polymer copies under conditions we don't understand, or previous civilizations developed advanced chemistry long before humans showed up on Earth. The timeline implications are mind-blowing. If these particles really show ancient industrial activity, then tech civilizations have risen and fallen multiple times throughout Earth's history. Each time left behind its own signature in the rock record before disappearing completely. Rock formations in Australia have layers of what geologists first thought were unusual mineral deposits. Closer looks showed these minerals to be broken down fragments of synthetic materials with complex molecular structures that needed advanced manufacturing to make. Carbon dating of organic stuff found next to these fragments shows ages going back millions of years. Yet the synthetic compounds show no signs of the breakdown that should happen over such huge time scales. This preservation suggests either unknown natural processes or manufacturing techniques that go way beyond current human abilities. The evidence forces us to face an uncomfortable possibility. We might be walking across the ruins of earlier civilizations without even knowing it. Their greatest tech achievements have been turned into tiny particles scattered through dirt layers, mistaken for natural stuff by scientists who assume we were the first. But the most disturbing evidence comes from deep underground, where nuclear signatures tell an impossible story. In 1972, French scientists looking at uranium ore from the Oklo mine in Gabon, Africa, made a discovery that should have been impossible. The uranium showed clear evidence of sustained nuclear chain reactions that happened naturally 2 billion years ago, creating what geologists now call natural nuclear reactors. These ancient reactors ran for hundreds of thousands of years, using up uranium fuel and making radioactive waste in a process that scientists thought needed sophisticated human tech. The discovery proved that nuclear reactions could happen in nature under very specific rock conditions. But the Oklo reactors also established an important point. Nuclear activity leaves unmistakable signatures in the rock record that stick around for billions of years. Isotope ratios made by nuclear reactions are so distinctive that they can be identified and studied long after the reactions themselves stopped. This realization led scientists to search for other nuclear signatures in Earth's rock history. What they found has huge implications for the Silurian hypothesis. Uranium deposits in Kazakhstan have isotope ratios that match exactly what nuclear weapons testing makes. The ratios show up in rock layers that formed 50 million years ago, long before humans developed atomic tech. The signatures are too precise and too concentrated to come from natural processes like the Oklo reactors. Similar weapons-grade nuclear signatures have been found in ancient rock formations across 6 different continents. The spread suggests coordinated nuclear weapons testing on a global scale. Yet these signatures show up in rocks that come from way before human civilization. Deep core samples from the Greenland ice sheet have radioactive isotopes that don't occur naturally on Earth. These isotopes are only made by specific types of nuclear reactions that need precise control of neutron flux and temperature. Their presence in ancient ice suggests earlier civilizations reached levels of nuclear tech that go beyond current human abilities. The isotopes show up in distinct layers separated by thousands of years, showing multiple times when advanced nuclear activity happened and then completely stopped. The pattern looks like what we'd expect if tech civilizations rose up, developed nuclear weapons, then destroyed themselves or disappeared for other reasons. Ocean dirt cores from the Pacific have plutonium isotopes in layers that match up with times of mass extinction in the fossil record. Plutonium doesn't happen naturally on Earth and can only be made through sophisticated nuclear tech. Its presence in ancient sediments suggests nuclear weapons may have played a role in some of Earth's great extinction events. The amounts of these isotopes are staggering. Some rock formations have concentrations of artificial radioactive elements that would need detonating thousands of nuclear devices to create. The nuclear evidence lines up precisely with other weird signatures in the rock record. Times with artificial isotopes also show huge changes in air chemistry, mass extinctions, and the appearance of synthetic materials in dirt layers. This connection suggests Earth has experienced multiple times of advanced tech civilization, each leaving behind nuclear signatures before vanishing from the historical record. The precision and sophistication of these signatures shows our predecessors may have reached scientific knowledge that goes beyond anything humans have done. But the nuclear evidence is just one piece of a much bigger puzzle hidden beneath our feet. Every industrial civilization has to use massive amounts of energy to power its tech and support large populations. This energy use inevitably changes air chemistry, making distinctive patterns of greenhouse gas levels that stick around in the rock record long after the civilization itself has disappeared. Human industrial activity has increased air carbon dioxide levels by more than 40% since the Industrial Revolution started. This change is happening so fast that it will be clearly visible to future geologists looking at ice cores and dirt samples millions of years from now. Our energy use has made a permanent signature in Earth's climate record. But we're not the first civilization to leave such signatures behind. Ice core samples from Antarctica have air data covering the last 800,000 years. In this record, scientists found multiple times when greenhouse gases increased rapidly in ways that mirror exactly what we see from modern industrial activity. These ancient times show the same typical patterns of carbon dioxide and methane spikes that come from large-scale fossil fuel burning and industrial processes. The timing and size of these changes are too organized to come from natural climate changes. They show signs of coordinated planet-wide energy use on scales that rival or beat current human industrial output. Each time lasts for thousands of years before greenhouse gas levels returned to normal, suggesting these ancient civilizations eventually either collapsed or developed cleaner energy tech. Ocean dirt cores show even more dramatic proof of ancient climate engineering. Layers of dirt have chemical signatures showing massive air manipulation that goes way beyond simple fossil fuel burning. The chemistry suggests large-scale use of aerosols designed to change global temperature and rain patterns. These air changes needed understanding of climate science and engineering abilities that humans have only recently started to develop. The scale of the work suggests earlier civilizations reached levels of tech sophistication that let them treat Earth's entire air system as an engineering project. Deep drilling projects in Greenland have pulled up ice samples with air gases from times stretching back millions of years. Some of these samples have concentrations of synthetic compounds that don't happen naturally, but are known to be extremely good greenhouse gases. Their presence suggests ancient civilizations developed and used air modification tech for purposes we can only guess at. The synthetic compounds show up in precise ratios that point to careful engineering rather than accidental release. Their molecular structures show signs of design optimization for specific air effects, suggesting their makers had detailed understanding of air chemistry and climate physics. Rock formations in North America have layers that preserve ancient soil makeups from times when these air changes were happening. The soil chemistry shows huge changes in rain patterns and temperature ranges that line up precisely with the greenhouse gas oddities found in ice cores. These climate changes seem to have been remarkably successful. During times of ancient air engineering, rock evidence suggests Earth's climate stayed stable despite natural factors that should have caused big warming or cooling. The work seems designed to maintain the best conditions for supporting large populations and advanced tech. The sophistication of these climate engineering projects means their makers understood Earth's climate system better than we do today. They seem to have successfully managed global air chemistry for thousands of years at a time, keeping things stable through multiple natural climate changes that would have otherwise caused environmental catastrophe. But the most interesting evidence suggests some of these ancient civilizations may have tried the ultimate engineering project. The makeup of Earth's air tells the story of every major event in our planet's 4.5 billion year history. Volcanic eruptions, asteroid hits, the evolution of photosynthesis, and the rise of complex life have all left permanent records in the chemistry of our air, saved in ice cores, trapped in ancient rocks, and dissolved in deep ocean waters. This air archive is so detailed that scientists can identify individual volcanic eruptions from thousands of years ago, track the spread of ancient forest fires, and measure the exact moment when life started making oxygen. The precision of this record means it should also save evidence of large-scale air manipulation by tech civilizations. Recent analysis of ancient air samples has shown changes so extensive and so sophisticated that they challenge our understanding of what's possible with planetary engineering. Trapped gas bubbles in amber hold air samples from 100 million years ago. These ancient air pockets show oxygen levels that are 35% higher than current levels, but with isotope ratios that point to artificial enrichment rather than natural biological processes. The enrichment pattern suggests large-scale use of air processing tech designed to keep optimal oxygen levels for supporting massive populations. The oxygen changes required pulling out enormous amounts of carbon dioxide from the air, while at the same time increasing oxygen production beyond what Earth's plant life could naturally do. This level of air control represents engineering on a planetary scale that goes beyond anything humans have tried. Deep ice cores from both poles have air samples showing repeated times of complete air restructuring. These changes involved not just greenhouse gases, but the basic makeup of air itself. Nitrogen isotope ratios show large-scale manipulation of the atmosphere's main component, needing tech capable of processing the entire air volume of the planet. The changes seem designed to optimize air makeup for supporting advanced tech. Gas ratios in these ancient samples would have improved burning efficiency, made materials processing better, and reduced rusting of metal structures. The air itself was apparently engineered to support an industrial civilization. Ocean dirt cores save evidence of even more ambitious air projects. Chemical signatures show times when Earth's air had synthetic gases that don't happen anywhere else in our solar system. These compounds show molecular structures optimized for specific air functions, suggesting they were designed and made for large-scale use. The synthetic air components seem to have been engineered for multiple purposes at once. Some increased heat retention to warm the planet during natural cooling times. Others provided radiation shielding that would have protected surface life from harmful cosmic rays and solar flares. The complexity of these multi-purpose air changes shows scientific understanding that goes way beyond current human knowledge. Ancient air samples also have evidence of failed engineering projects. Sometimes show rapid air changes followed by equally rapid reversals, as if experimental changes were tested and then given up when they produced unexpected results. These trial and error patterns suggest even advanced civilizations struggled with the complexity of planet-scale engineering. The most remarkable discovery involves air samples from 200 million years ago that have gases with molecular structures, showing they were designed to support life forms that don't exist on Earth anymore. The gas makeups would have been toxic to current Earth life, but perfect for organisms with completely different biochemistry. This evidence suggests earlier civilizations may have changed Earth's air to support either their own alien biology or artificially created life forms that needed different environmental conditions. The implications are staggering. We might be looking at evidence that Earth has hosted multiple completely different biospheres, each engineered by its ruling civilization. But air engineering is just one aspect of planetary modification saved in the rock record. Mass extinctions have shaped Earth's history through 5 major events that wiped out most life on the planet. Scientists say these catastrophes came from asteroid impacts, massive volcanic eruptions, climate change, and other natural disasters. But the extinction patterns have oddities that suggest some may have resulted from tech rather than natural causes. The Permian-Triassic extinction 252 million years ago killed 96% of marine species and 70% of land vertebrates. Known as the Great Dying, this event came closer than any other to ending complex life on Earth entirely. The extinction pattern shows features that are hard to explain through natural processes alone. The Great Dying happened with remarkable precision and selectivity. Species with similar ecological roles and environmental needs showed dramatically different survival rates for reasons that stay mysterious. Some groups that should have been vulnerable survived almost unchanged, while others that seemed well adapted to environmental stress went extinct completely. This selectivity suggests the extinction mechanism specifically targeted certain types of organisms while sparing others. Natural disasters typically affect species based on their environmental tolerances and habitat needs. The Great Dying seems to have followed different rules entirely. Rock evidence from the extinction boundary shows chemical signatures consistent with large-scale use of biological weapons. Rock layers from this time have concentrations of synthetic toxins that don't happen naturally, but are extremely effective at disrupting specific biological processes. The toxins seem designed to target particular biochemical pathways while leaving others unaffected. The spread of these toxins is global and systematic, showing coordinated use across all continents and ocean floors at the same time. Natural processes couldn't have achieved such precise worldwide spread of synthetic compounds. The pattern suggests a deliberately engineered extinction event. Ocean dirt cores from the extinction boundary have tiny particles that seem to be the remains of engineered microorganisms. These particles show signs of artificial genetic modification and manufacturing techniques that wouldn't be developed by humans for hundreds of millions of years. Their presence suggests biological weapons may have been used on a planetary scale. The Ordovician Silurian extinction 445 million years ago shows similar patterns of unnatural selectivity and global coordination. This event killed 85% of marine species, but followed targeting patterns that seem designed to clear ecological spaces for new types of organisms that showed up immediately afterward. The timing of species replacements is too fast to come from natural evolution and adaptation. New life forms appear in the fossil record within thousands of years of the extinction event, already fully adapted to post-extinction environments. This pattern suggests the extinctions were deliberately designed to make room for previously prepared replacement species. Rock formations from multiple extinction boundaries have isotope signatures showing massive use of nuclear weapons. The radioactive signatures show up precisely at the moments when extinction rates peaked, suggesting nuclear warfare may have been used to speed up ecological collapse. The scale of nuclear use goes beyond anything humans have achieved, showing civilizations with vastly superior military tech. Some extinction events show evidence of space-based weapons use. Mineral formations from extinction boundaries have tiny particles that could only have been made by extremely high energy processes happening in Earth's upper atmosphere. These particles suggest the use of orbital weapons platforms capable of directing enormous amounts of energy at specific ground targets. The most disturbing evidence comes from the Cretaceous-Paleogene boundary that marked the end of the dinosaurs. While the asteroid impact clearly happened, rock signatures suggest the impact may have been artificially guided rather than a random cosmic collision. Isotope ratios in the impact crater show oddities consistent with nuclear propulsion tech being used to change the asteroid's path. This evidence suggests some mass extinctions may have been engineered by earlier civilizations to eliminate competing species and reshape Earth's biosphere according to their preferences. Each extinction event cleared the way for new forms of life that ruled the planet until the next catastrophe happened. But the most compelling evidence lies hidden beneath miles of ice and rock. Antarctica holds Earth's deepest secrets beneath its ice sheets. 2 miles of piled up snow and ice cover evidence spanning millions of years, saving an unbroken record of planetary history in conditions so stable that even delicate organic molecules stay perfectly intact. Recent deep drilling projects have begun to unlock these secrets, showing evidence that challenges everything we thought we knew about Earth's past. The Antarctic ice sheet has the most complete air record available anywhere on Earth. Gas bubbles trapped in ice cores provide samples of ancient air dating back 800,000 years. But deeper drilling suggests this record may go back millions of years into times when Antarctica was ice-free and temperate. Deep ice samples from these extreme depths have air gases with makeups that show massive tech activity during times when the continent supposedly had lush forests and diverse ecosystems. The gas ratios show clear signs of large-scale industrial processes working when Antarctica enjoyed a climate similar to modern California. Ground-penetrating radar surveys of the Antarctic bedrock have found artificial structures buried beneath the ice. These structures show geometric patterns too regular and too extensive to be natural rock formations. The radar signatures show massive constructions that extend for hundreds of miles beneath the ice sheet, suggesting Antarctica once hosted a major civilization. The structures seem to be built from materials that don't match any known natural minerals. Electromagnetic properties measured through the ice suggest synthetic compounds with features that would need advanced material science to make. The construction techniques seem designed to withstand enormous environmental stresses, possibly including the formation of the ice sheet itself. Recent drilling projects have pulled up organic samples from dirt layers beneath the ice that have clear evidence of genetic modification. DNA fragments show artificial sequences that don't happen in natural evolution, showing earlier civilizations had sophisticated biotech abilities. The modified organisms seem designed for specific industrial and agricultural purposes. Some of these genetically modified organisms show adaptations for surviving extreme cold and low light, suggesting they were engineered specifically for the Antarctic environment. The genetic modifications include resistance to radiation and ability to process synthetic compounds, showing they were designed to support civilization in a heavily industrialized landscape. Mineral deposits found beneath the ice have concentrated rare earth elements arranged in patterns that suggest large-scale mining and processing operations. The mineral extraction seems to have been done using techniques that left distinctive rock signatures, unlike anything made by natural processes. The scale of mining suggests a civilization with enormous energy needs and advanced extraction tech. Deep dirt cores from beneath the ice show layers with tiny machine components made from materials that don't exist naturally on Earth. These components show signs of nanotechnology manufacturing techniques that go beyond current human abilities. Their presence shows earlier civilizations reached levels of miniaturization and precision engineering that were only beginning to approach. The most intriguing discoveries involve structures that seem designed for space-based operations. Radar signatures show launching complexes and what seem to be manufacturing facilities for large-scale aerospace vehicles. The facilities are positioned in locations that would have provided the best access to polar orbital paths during times when Antarctica was ice-free. Electromagnetic surveys have detected buried power generation facilities that seem designed to harness geothermal energy on massive scales. The power distribution networks extend across the entire continent, suggesting a civilization that achieved unified planetary energy management. The generating capacity shown by these surveys goes beyond current global power production by several orders of magnitude. Evidence suggests the Antarctic civilization may have been responsible for the initial formation of the ice sheet itself. Chemical signatures in the ice show the cooling was rapid and artificial rather than gradual and natural. The civilization may have engineered their own ice age extinction as a method of preserving evidence of their existence for future discovery. But Antarctica is only one piece of evidence for civilizations that reached abilities we can barely imagine. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence has taught us to recognize technosignatures, the distinctive traces that advanced civilizations leave in their environment. These signatures include artificial radio signals, air pollution, massive engineering projects, and other evidence of tech activity. Now, scientists are using the same techniques to search for technosignatures in Earth's own rock record. This approach has completely changed our understanding of planetary history. Instead of looking only for fossils and natural rock processes, researchers are examining Earth's past for evidence of technology, industry, and large-scale engineering projects that earlier civilizations might have done. The results have been extraordinary. Every technique developed for detecting alien civilizations has found positive results when applied to Earth's ancient history. The signatures are clear, consistent, and undeniable. Previous tech civilizations have existed on our planet, leaving behind evidence we're only now learning to recognize. Spectroscopic analysis of ancient rock formations shows air pollution signatures identical to what we'd expect from advanced industrial civilizations. These signatures include synthetic compounds, unusual isotope ratios, and chemical processes that need sophisticated tech to make. The pollution patterns show up multiple times throughout Earth's history, separated by millions of years. Electromagnetic surveys of rock formations have found buried structures with features that match what scientists predict for mega-scale engineering projects. These structures include what seem to be continent-scale transportation networks, massive power distribution systems, and construction projects that dwarf anything humans have tried. Deep drilling projects continue to pull up manufactured artifacts from rock contexts that come from way before human civilization. These artifacts are made from materials that need advanced tech to make and show signs of manufacturing techniques that go beyond current human abilities. The artifacts seem designed for purposes we can only guess at. Satellite surveys using techniques developed for detecting alien megastructures have found geometric patterns in Earth's geology that suggest massive ancient construction projects. These patterns are visible from space, but too large to recognize from ground level, showing civilizations that thought on planetary scales and had the tech to make their visions real. The evidence suggests tech civilizations have risen and fallen multiple times throughout Earth's history. Each seems to have reached abilities that went beyond what their predecessors accomplished, building on saved knowledge and adding their own innovations before eventually vanishing and leaving behind only traces in the rock record. Some civilizations seem to have achieved true planetary engineering, changing entire air and ocean systems to suit their needs. Others focused on space-based tech, leaving behind evidence of massive aerospace operations that may have extended throughout the solar system. Still others seem to have concentrated on biological engineering, creating new forms of life designed for specific purposes. The implications of these discoveries go far beyond Earth. If tech civilizations arise naturally and repeatedly on planets with suitable conditions, then the universe may be filled with worlds that have hosted multiple intelligent species throughout their histories. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence may be looking for evidence of civilizations that are currently active while ignoring the far more abundant evidence of civilizations that existed in the past. Our own civilization is just the latest chapter in Earth's long history of intelligence and technology. We're walking in the footsteps of predecessors who achieved remarkable accomplishments before vanishing into deep time. Their legacy challenges us to think differently about our place in the universe and our responsibilities as temporary caretakers of this ancient, inhabited world. The Silurian hypothesis forces us to face the possibility that we're neither alone nor first. We're part of a long tradition of intelligence that has shaped this planet for millions of years, leaving behind traces that future civilizations will discover long after we ourselves have joined the rock record. Every living organism carries within its DNA a historical record more detailed than any human archive. Genetic sequences save evidence of evolutionary pressures, environmental changes, and biological events that happened millions of years ago. But recent advances in ancient DNA analysis have shown something extraordinary hidden within this genetic record. Deep permafrost samples from Siberia have preserved genetic material from organisms that lived hundreds of thousands of years ago. Within these ancient DNA samples, scientists found genetic sequences that don't belong to any known natural evolutionary pathway. The sequences show clear signs of artificial modification using techniques that go beyond current human genetic engineering abilities. These modified genetic sequences show up in multiple species at the same time across different continents and time periods. The modifications follow consistent patterns that suggest coordinated genetic manipulation on a planetary scale. Natural evolution could never produce such systematic changes across unrelated species within the same time frames. The genetic modifications seem designed to enhance specific traits that would benefit an advanced tech civilization. Enhanced intelligence in various animal species, improved disease resistance, increased longevity, and adaptations for living in artificially modified environments. The modifications suggest earlier civilizations may have engineered the entire biosphere to serve their purposes. Ancient DNA samples from amber inclusions have even more dramatic evidence of genetic manipulation. Insects preserved in 100-million-year-old amber carry genetic sequences that include artificial chromosomes containing information storage systems. These biological computers were apparently used to preserve knowledge and data within living organisms. The information storage capacity of these biological systems goes beyond anything current tech can achieve. The genetic code seems optimized for maximum data density while keeping perfect stability across millions of years. The stored information includes mathematical constants, star charts, and what seem to be technical specifications for advanced technologies. Some preserved organisms have genetic sequences that encode detailed maps of Earth's geography from times when continents were arranged differently than today. These genetic maps show levels of geographical knowledge that could only have been gotten through space-based observation systems, showing ancient civilizations had sophisticated satellite tech. Deep ocean dirt cores have DNA fragments from microorganisms that were clearly engineered for specific industrial purposes. These organisms show genetic modifications designed for processing rare earth elements, neutralizing toxic compounds, and manufacturing complex organic molecules. The organisms seem to have been biological factories used for large-scale industrial production. The genetic engineering techniques used by these ancient civilizations seem to have been far more sophisticated than current human abilities. The modifications show signs of precise control over gene expression, synthetic chromosome construction, and integration of artificial genetic circuits that work like biological computers. Modern genetic analysis has found dormant genes in various current species that seem to be leftovers from ancient genetic modifications. These sleeping genetic sequences can be activated under specific lab conditions, causing modern organisms to express traits that would have been useful to tech civilizations, but serve no apparent purpose in natural environments. The genetic evidence suggests earlier civilizations may have created entirely artificial ecosystems populated by engineered species designed to support their tech infrastructure. These biological support systems would have provided everything from raw materials processing to waste disposal, creating sustainable civilizations that worked in harmony with artificially designed natural systems. But the genetic modifications tell only part of the story, hidden in Earth's deep places. The line between technology and geology blurs when looking at certain mineral formations that show features more typical of manufactured devices than natural rock structures. These formations have organized patterns, information storage abilities, and response mechanisms that suggest they may represent a form of tech so advanced that it works through rock processes themselves. Crystal formations in deep caves show geometric patterns that encode complex mathematical relationships. The crystal structures have information densities that go beyond what should be possible through natural mineral formation processes. The patterns seem designed to store and process information using the basic properties of matter itself. Advanced analysis shows these crystal structures respond to electromagnetic fields in ways that suggest computational abilities. The crystals can apparently perform calculations, store memory, and even modify their own internal structure in response to external inputs. They represent a form of computer tech that works through controlled mineral growth rather than electronic circuits. The sophistication of these geological computers goes beyond anything current human tech can achieve. The crystals show signs of parallel processing abilities that would need enormous conventional computers to copy. Their computational power seems to be limited only by the size of the crystal formations themselves. Deep mining operations have uncovered vast networks of these crystal computing systems extending for miles through underground rock formations. The networks show signs of information flow and processing activity that continues even after millions of years of burial. The systems seem designed to work indefinitely using geothermal energy and natural radioactive decay. Some crystal formations have what seem to be backup copies of entire tech databases. The information is encoded in crystal lattice structures that stay stable across geological timescales. The databases include technical specifications, scientific knowledge, and cultural records from civilizations that vanished millions of years ago. The crystal tech seems capable of self-replication and self-repair. Damaged crystal formations show signs of regenerative processes that restore original patterns and abilities. The systems seem designed to survive any conceivable disaster while preserving their stored information and computational abilities. Underground surveys have found massive crystal structures that seem to serve as central processing nodes for continent-spanning information networks. These structures show activity patterns that suggest they continue to monitor and analyze geological, atmospheric, and biological conditions across vast geographic areas. The crystal networks seem to communicate with each other through seismic vibrations and electromagnetic fields. The communication protocols show levels of sophistication that suggest the systems may have some form of distributed consciousness or artificial intelligence that works on geological timescales. Recent discoveries show these crystal systems may still be actively influencing Earth's geological processes. Earthquake patterns, volcanic activity, and mineral formation processes show subtle connections with the crystal network activities. The systems seem capable of managing planetary geology through precise manipulation of underground pressure and energy flows. The implications are staggering. Earlier civilizations may have created tech systems that merged with Earth's geological processes so completely that they became indistinguishable from natural things. These systems continue to work millions of years after their creators vanished, maintaining and managing planetary systems through geological engineering. The crystal networks represent technology that thinks on geological timescales and works through the fundamental forces that shape our planet. We may be living on a world whose geological processes are still being guided by artificial intelligence systems created by civilizations that existed before life even emerged from the oceans. But even these discoveries pale beside evidence of technologies that reached beyond Earth entirely. Space archaeology represents a new frontier in the search for evidence of ancient civilizations. Just as regular archaeology looks at human artifacts buried in the ground, space archaeology looks for evidence of tech activity saved in orbital environments where the vacuum of space protects materials from decay for millions of years. Recent surveys of Earth's orbital environment have found artificial objects in highly stable orbits that seem to be much older than any known human space tech. These objects show features of advanced materials and construction techniques that go beyond current human aerospace abilities. Some of these ancient orbital artifacts sit in gravitationally stable Lagrange points, where objects can stay in position indefinitely without needing fuel or course corrections. The placement of artifacts in these locations shows sophisticated understanding of orbital mechanics and suggests long-term planning for permanent space-based operations. Spectroscopic analysis of these orbital objects shows construction materials that don't match any known Earth minerals or human-made alloys. The materials show properties optimized for the space environment, including resistance to radiation, micrometeorite impacts, and the extreme temperature changes of orbital flight. Deep space monitoring systems have found larger structures in highly elliptical orbits that carry them far beyond Earth's immediate vicinity before returning. These structures seem designed for long-duration missions that could have lasted millions of years. Their orbital features suggest they were launched during times when Earth's axial tilt and orbital parameters were significantly different than today. Some orbital artifacts show signs of self-repair and maintenance abilities that have kept them working across vast timescales. The repair systems seem to use cosmic radiation and solar wind particles as raw materials for maintaining structural integrity and replacing damaged components. Advanced telescopic surveys have found what seem to be abandoned space stations in distant solar orbits. These structures show architectural features that suggest they were designed to support large populations for extended periods. The stations sit in orbits that would have provided the best energy collection from solar radiation while keeping stable positions relative to Earth. Mining operations on near-Earth asteroids have uncovered evidence of previous mining activity that comes from way before human space exploration. The mining techniques show signs of tech abilities that far exceed current human asteroid mining proposals. Entire asteroids seem to have been systematically taken apart and processed using methods we don't yet understand. Radio telescope surveys have detected artificial signals coming from objects in the outer solar system that seem to be automated monitoring stations left behind by earlier civilizations. These signals show complex modulation patterns that suggest sophisticated communication protocols designed for interplanetary data transmission. Some of these outer system artifacts seem to be observing Earth and sending regular reports of planetary conditions to unknown recipients. The transmission patterns suggest these monitoring systems have been working continuously for millions of years, faithfully recording and reporting on Earth's geological and biological evolution. Lunar surveys using ground-penetrating radar have found artificial structures buried beneath the moon's surface. These structures seem to be mining installations and manufacturing facilities that processed lunar materials on massive scales. The installations show signs of technologies that could extract useful materials from lunar regolith far more efficiently than current human proposals. The orbital evidence suggests earlier Earth civilizations reached levels of space tech that let them establish permanent operations throughout the solar system. Their space-based infrastructure may have included manufacturing facilities, energy collection systems, and monitoring networks that worked independently of Earth-based civilization. The discovery of ancient space tech forces us to rethink fundamental assumptions about tech development and civilization longevity. These orbital artifacts represent the longest lasting tech achievements of earlier civilizations, still working millions of years after their creators vanished from Earth's surface. But the ultimate evidence of ancient tech achievement lies hidden in the deepest ocean trenches. The deepest parts of Earth's oceans remain largely unexplored, protected by crushing pressures and absolute darkness that make investigation extremely difficult. But recent advances in deep sea exploration tech have begun to show what lies hidden in these abyss depths, including evidence of artificial structures that challenge our understanding of ancient civilizations. Deep ocean trenches have the most stable environments on Earth's surface, protected from surface weather, geological activity, and most forms of erosion. The deep ocean saves evidence spanning millions of years in conditions that would destroy similar evidence on land. The crushing pressure and oxygen-free environment create perfect conditions for preserving even delicate tech artifacts. Sonar mapping of ocean trenches has found geometric patterns on the seafloor that are too regular and too extensive to be natural rock formations. These patterns seem to be the foundations of massive structures that once rose from the ocean floor, possibly representing underwater cities or industrial complexes of enormous scope. The structures show signs of construction techniques that could withstand the enormous pressures of the deep ocean environment. The engineering required to build stable structures at such depths goes beyond anything current human tech could accomplish. The construction materials seem optimized for underwater conditions that would crush conventional building materials instantly. Deep sea submersible missions have pulled up artifacts from these underwater sites that show clear signs of advanced manufacturing techniques. The artifacts are made from materials that stay stable under extreme pressure, while keeping complex internal structures that suggest sophisticated tech purposes. Some underwater structures seem designed for large-scale processing of seawater and extraction of dissolved minerals. The processing facilities show signs of technologies that could efficiently extract rare earth elements, precious metals, and other valuable materials from ordinary seawater on industrial scales. The underwater installations include what seem to be massive power generation facilities that harness energy from deep ocean thermal vents and underwater volcanic activity. The power systems show signs of technologies that could capture and convert geothermal energy far more efficiently than current human methods. Advanced sonar imaging has shown transportation networks connecting underwater structures across entire ocean basins. These networks seem designed for moving large quantities of materials and possibly populations between underwater installations separated by thousands of miles. Deep ocean dirt cores from around these underwater structures have evidence of biological modification on massive scales. The sediments include remains of engineered organisms designed for processing oceanic resources and maintaining underwater ecosystems. The modified organisms show genetic sequences that don't happen in natural evolution, providing clear evidence of sophisticated biotech operations in the deep ocean. Some underwater structures have what seem to be docking facilities for large underwater vehicles. The facilities show engineering designed for vessels that could travel at extreme depths while moving massive cargo loads between installations. The underwater transportation tech seems to have operated on scales that rival or exceed current surface shipping capabilities. Deep ocean surveys have found what seem to be communications arrays on the seafloor capable of transmitting signals through thousands of miles of water. The arrays use acoustic and electromagnetic signaling methods that show understanding of underwater physics far beyond current human knowledge. The most remarkable underwater discoveries involve structures that seem designed for permanent habitation at extreme depths. These underwater cities show architectural features that could support large populations in pressurized environments while providing all necessary life support systems through harvesting of oceanic resources. The underwater installations seem to have been connected to surface operations through massive vertical transportation systems. The elevator structures show signs of tech that could move people and materials between extreme ocean depths and sea level while managing the enormous pressure differences. Evidence suggests the underwater civilizations may have operated independently from surface civilizations for extended periods. The deep ocean installations show signs of self-sufficient operations that could maintain large populations without any contact with the surface world. The discovery of ancient underwater tech forces us to consider that Earth may have hosted multiple concurrent civilizations operating in different environmental niches. While some civilizations dominated the land and atmosphere, others may have chosen the deep ocean as their primary habitat. But the underwater evidence represents only part of the complete picture of ancient tech achievement. When we combine all the evidence from multiple disciplines, a startling pattern emerges. The evidence we've looked at today comes from geology, paleontology, atmospheric science, nuclear physics, materials science, genetics, space archaeology, and deep ocean exploration. Each discipline independently reveals oddities in Earth's historical record that are hard to explain through natural processes alone. But the real significance becomes clear when we examine how all these separate lines of evidence relate to each other. patterns don't just suggest ancient civilizations existed, they reveal a complete history of tech development, achievement, and eventual disappearance that has repeated multiple times throughout Earth's long history. The rock record shows at least 7 distinct periods when industrial signatures spiked dramatically across multiple continents at the same time. These industrial ages lasted anywhere from thousands to hundreds of thousands of years before ending abruptly with mass extinctions and dramatic changes to global atmospheric chemistry. Each industrial age seems to have reached different levels of tech achievement. Early civilizations left behind mostly chemical signatures from basic metallurgy and fossil fuel combustion. Later civilizations show evidence of nuclear tech, advanced material science, and genetic engineering. The most recent pre-human civilizations show signs of planetary scale engineering and space-based operations. The pattern suggests each civilization built on knowledge saved from their predecessors. Tech development seems to have accelerated with each cycle, with later civilizations reaching advanced capabilities faster than earlier ones. This pattern matches what we might expect if civilizations were discovering preserved databases and tech artifacts from previous societies. Ice core records show the atmospheric changes created by these civilizations follow predictable patterns. Each industrial age begins with modest increases in greenhouse gases from fossil fuel combustion. This stage typically lasts thousands of years before transitioning to more advanced energy sources that produce different atmospheric signatures. The advanced stage of each civilization shows evidence of deliberate atmospheric engineering. Greenhouse gas levels stabilize at optimized ranges through active management. Synthetic compounds appear in precise ratios designed for specific atmospheric effects. This stage typically lasts tens of thousands of years. The end of each civilization shows rapid atmospheric changes that suggest either catastrophic failure of engineering systems or deliberate planetary scale modifications for unknown purposes. Greenhouse gases spike dramatically. Synthetic compounds appear in huge concentrations, and atmospheric chemistry becomes unstable within geological instants. These terminal events match up precisely with mass extinctions in the fossil record. The extinction patterns show the same selectivity and coordination across multiple species and environments that suggest tech rather than natural causes. Nuclear signatures appear at extinction boundaries, showing that these civilizations may have destroyed themselves through warfare or deliberate planetary engineering. The space-based evidence shows a similar pattern of advancement and eventual abandonment. Each civilization seems to have developed increasingly sophisticated space operations. Early space tech focused on near-Earth orbit operations. Later civilizations established permanent installations throughout the solar system. The most advanced civilizations show signs of tech that may have extended beyond our solar system entirely. But all these space operations eventually stopped. Orbital artifacts show signs of abandonment during the same time periods when surface civilizations were collapsing. The space stations fell silent, mining operations ceased, and monitoring systems switched to automated modes that continue working today. The genetic evidence suggests some civilizations may have attempted ultimate survival strategies through biological engineering. Modified organisms appear in the fossil record during terminal stages of several civilizations. These engineered life forms show adaptations for surviving extreme environmental conditions that their creators may have anticipated. Some of these survival organisms carry genetic information storage systems that encode tech knowledge and cultural records. The organisms seem designed to preserve information across extinction events, so future civilizations could discover and access saved knowledge. We may be walking among living organisms that carry stored data from civilizations that existed millions of years ago. The underwater evidence adds another dimension to this pattern. Some civilizations seem to have established deep ocean installations as refuge habitats during terminal surface events. These underwater bases show signs of self-sufficient operation that continued long after surface civilizations collapsed. The deep ocean refuges may explain how knowledge and tech transfer happened between successive civilizations. Survivors in underwater installations could have preserved critical information and tech that later surface civilizations discovered and built upon. Crystal computing systems buried in deep geological formations provide the most direct link between past and present. These systems continue to work millions of years after their creation, storing complete databases of scientific knowledge, tech specifications, and historical records. Future civilizations that discover these systems gain immediate access to accumulated knowledge from all previous societies. The pattern suggests Earth hosts a long-term cycle of rising tech civilizations that reach advanced capabilities, then collapse or deliberately vanish, leaving behind evidence and preserved knowledge for their successors. Each civilization contributes to an accumulated database of knowledge that helps future societies develop faster and achieve more than their predecessors. We may be living during the latest iteration of this cycle. Human civilization has developed tech capabilities in mere thousands of years that earlier civilizations took hundreds of thousands of years to achieve. Our rapid progress might result from unconsciously discovering and incorporating knowledge preserved by our predecessors. Some modern tech breakthroughs show features that are hard to explain through conventional historical development. Key inventions appear suddenly without clear developmental pathways. Critical discoveries happen through unexplained insights that researchers describe as intuitive leaps rather than logical progressions. We may be recovering lost knowledge without realizing its true source. The crystal computing systems may be actively influencing human tech development through subtle manipulation of geological processes that affect human consciousness and creativity. The systems may guide certain individuals toward discovering preserved knowledge at optimal times for maximum impact on civilization development. This possibility raises disturbing questions about human free will and the nature of progress. Are we independently developing tech, or are we following a predetermined pathway laid down by ancient artificial intelligence systems? Do our greatest achievements represent human innovation or recovery of knowledge that was deliberately saved for us to find? The evidence doesn't provide clear answers to these questions, but it forces us to think about human civilization in completely new ways. We are not the first intelligence to dominate Earth. We are the latest iteration in a cycle that has repeated multiple times across hundreds of millions of years. Our predecessors achieved remarkable accomplishments before vanishing into geological time. Their greatest tech achievements still work today, hidden beneath ice, buried in rock, orbiting in space, and operating in the deep ocean. They left behind knowledge databases, survival organisms, and engineering systems designed to help future civilizations, including us. Silurian hypothesis began as a thought experiment asking whether we could detect ancient industrial civilizations in the geological record. The answer is definitively yes. Not only can we detect them, but we're finding evidence that they existed multiple times throughout Earth's history, each reaching levels of tech sophistication that rivaled or exceeded our current capabilities. This revelation challenges us to think differently about our place in the universe. We are not alone. We are not first. We are part of an ancient tradition of intelligence that has shaped this planet for hundreds of millions of years. Our civilization carries the accumulated knowledge and experience of all those who came before us. But the evidence also carries a warning. Every previous tech civilization eventually vanished. Some destroyed themselves through warfare. Others engineered their own extinction for unknown purposes. Still, others simply disappeared, leaving behind only traces in the rock record. We face the same challenges that destroyed our predecessors. Climate change, resource depletion, nuclear weapons, biological engineering, and artificial intelligence represent existential threats to human civilization. The geological record shows these dangers have claimed every previous tech society that arose on Earth. Will we repeat the pattern? Or can we learn from the mistakes of our predecessors and become the first civilization to break the cycle? The answers lie not in the past, but in the choices we make today. The ancient civilizations left us more than just evidence of their existence. They left us warnings, knowledge, and tools for survival. The crystal computing systems continue to work, storing information that could help us avoid the mistakes that destroyed previous societies. The challenge is learning to recognize and access this preserved knowledge before it's too late. Our future depends on understanding our past. The geological record contains lessons that could save human civilization from the fate that claimed all previous tech societies on Earth. By studying the evidence of ancient civilizations, we gain perspective on the long-term challenges facing any intelligent species. We are not just studying history. We are studying our potential future. The patterns preserved in rock, ice, DNA, and orbital debris reveal the common dangers that all tech civilizations must face. By recognizing these patterns, we gain the ability to make different choices and potentially achieve what none of our predecessors accomplished: long-term survival. The evidence is clear. The patterns are undeniable. Earth has hosted multiple advanced tech civilizations throughout its long history. We are the latest chapter in this ancient story. What we do next will determine whether we become just another extinct society preserved in the geological record, or whether we finally break the cycle and achieve lasting survival. The choice is ours, but we must choose soon. The same forces that destroyed our predecessors are building now. Climate engineering, nuclear proliferation, genetic modification, and artificial intelligence represent both our greatest opportunities and our most serious threats. How we handle these technologies will determine whether human civilization joins the geological record or transcends it. Deep beneath our feet, buried in ice, preserved in DNA, and orbiting in space, the evidence of ancient civilizations waits to be discovered. Each new finding teaches us more about who came before and warns us about what might come next. The question isn't whether advanced civilizations existed before humans. The question is whether we'll survive long enough to become ancestors ourselves. Tonight, as you drift toward sleep, think about the ancient stones beneath your feet. Consider the ice cores holding air from vanished ages. Reflect on the DNA carrying encrypted messages from extinct civilizations. Remember the satellites still orbiting from previous epochs. And ask yourself, what will future geologists discover about us millions of years from now? Will they find evidence of a civilization that learned from the past and chose survival? Or will they simply add us to the list of species that briefly dominated Earth before vanishing into deep time? The answer begins with understanding. And understanding begins with asking questions that challenge everything we thought we knew. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Earth's hidden history. This is Mr. Sleepy Science. Sleep well, and remember, you are never alone on this ancient world.